When people think about cancer, they think of chemotherapy, losing your hair, and staying in the hospital for a long time. They think about what a patient's life is like while they are battling cancer. They don't normally think about the side effects of cancer years down the road. That is, until they are thrown headfirst into that battle themselves. My name is Kiersten. I am 17 years old and just celebrated 8 years being cancer-free after battling my second battle. Right before I started 3rd grade, I was diagnosed with Burkitt's lymphoma, a rapidly growing stomach cancer that was, when they first found it, the size of 9 grapefruits. My first memories of cancer are being in my hospital bed, newly equipped with my Hickman and GI tubes, coloring, and looking at the horse posters my dad had hung on the wall for me. I don't remember ever being told I had cancer, or even my first hospital visit for treatment. I just remember having cancer and the long journey of feeling sick and being in and out of the hospital. After defeating Burkitt's, I remember my doctor telling me and my family that there was a slight possibility of another cancer coming after this one, and thinking to myself, now you jinxed it. Well, a few months and 2 amazing family trips later, I was once again on my way to the hospital for another fight with cancer. This one was against AML, a leukemia that attacks your bone marrow. I used to know what the A and the M stand for, but now I have no idea. I only know that it's a leukemia, and that it required me to have radiation to kill my entire immune system, a bone marrow transplant, isolation in my hospital room for 47 days, and it gave me a 10% chance of survival. Well, I can gladly say that I beat those odds, and after surviving and recovering from AML, I was once again cancer-free, this time for good. 8 years later, I take half the medications I took during treatment, but there are still some things that I have to look out for as a result of the cancers and their treatments. For one, I am quite a bit more likely to get skin cancer if I get a sunburn than your average teen, which leaves tanning beds way out of the option, and sunscreen an absolute must in the summer. My eyes, ears, bones, and many other things are checked at least once a year, and my blood is usually checked a few times a year. I am also more comfortable around doctor's offices and needles than most of my peers. But for the most part, I feel like any other teenager in my high school, and most kids in my school, except those who knew me in elementary school and my close friends, have no idea what I went through in 3rd and 4th grade. They just know I am short, really bad at sports, and have a weak ankle. I was supposed to be around 5'7" or 5'9". One of the meds I took during my treatment for AML stopped me at a permanent 5 foot. I don't mind. Most of the time I like it. But there is one thing I would have liked to have been able to do. Give blood. At my height, I would have to gain an extra 30 pounds in order to be able to give blood. Instead of gaining all that weight, I try and convince my friends and other kids at my school to give their blood every time a drive comes to our school. Another disadvantage of being short, I still look like I'm 12. This will probably come in handy later on in life when I am older. But for now, it is just something for my friends to tease me about when I still get asked if I want a, kids menu at a restaurant, or a waitress hands me one of those kiddie cups, while the rest of my family receives the regular glasses. With the Burkitt's, one of the medications I took gave me something called drop foot in my left leg. Drop foot happens usually in both arms or both legs, but in some cases like mine, it only happens in one. The nerves in my foot were shut down, and some of them will never restart. I can now do most things with my left foot that I can with my right, where in the beginning I couldn't move it at all. But a lot of the feeling in my foot is still gone. It can't tell if something is hot or cold unless it is burning or freezing. It doesn't feel pain if it gets bruised or scratched. And the only thing I can really feel with my left foot is sharp, needle-like pain that shoots up my leg every time I step on rocks, crunchy grass, pebbles, or my baby sister's small toys. It also is almost 2 sizes smaller than my right foot. The drop foot makes me a slow runner. In the Children's Cancer Research Fund's Time to Fly race that my family, friends, and I participate in, my average 5K is about 45 minutes. It is kind of irritating being one of the slowest to finish, and watching everyone pass me for the home stretch when I haven't even hit the turnaround point yet. I just didn't try and improve my time and get more people to join our Team Radis every year while enjoying time being outside with my family and raising money for a good cause. For the rest of my life, I will live with my drop foot, my shortness, and all the other things that come with having cancer, both the good and the bad. This also includes all my doctor's appointments that I go to every year. One day, I will have to get a good job to pay for all of my health insurance and other medical bills that my parents pay for now. I hope to do some sort of work with animals, like pathology, when I get older. But even now, without even thinking about it, I already take care of a lot of things that go about staying healthy. Other than the obvious things like eating right, exercising, and staying away from drugs and alcohol, I do other things like keep track of my medications, when to take them, how to take them, and when they need refills. If one of my meds is getting low, I order the prescription myself and will usually go pick it up once it has been filled at the pharmacy. If there is a regular doctor appointment that is just checking the usual stuff and may need some blood drawn or a few shots, I will go by myself, without my parents. I've even gone to a couple dentist appointments by myself. I have to say, I don't think any of my friends can say they do all those things by themselves, especially when some of them are still even scared to go to the doctors. If I were to talk to a patient or family member going through cancer right now, I would tell them that while it is hard now, it will get better, and one day it will just become your new normal. All of the things that the doctors told you to look out for or be careful of will just become something that is automatic to you, and you just do it without thinking about it or concentrating on it. It may be a lot to take in and remember at first, but one day you will be like me and never leave the house in the summer without sunscreen on, sleep over anywhere without your meds, and put on your tennis shoes without an insert in your right shoe and a brace on your left, all without thinking about it. It would have been interesting to see what my life would have been like without ever having cancer. I would have probably been in some sort of sport, better running in 5'9", and would have still had feeling in my foot, which would have been nice. But I never would have met all the awesome nurses and doctors at the hospitals I stayed at, would have never heard of Children's Cancer Research Fund or the Time to Fly race. I would have probably never had the same friends I do now, or be the proud drum major of the Andover High School marching band I am today, when I conduct the Marching Huskies through all of our competitions. So while cancer itself was not a blast, and will never be a ride at Valley Fair, as my dad and I tease, the memories and experiences I have now are something I will love and cherish for the rest of my life, and I would never want to go back and retry my life cancer-free. Thank you.